Hey guys, today I'm going to give you my top 4 tips to create better videos. So most videographers, especially new videographers, always assume that the only way to get really good looking videos is to have the newest cameras, the most expensive cameras, to upgrade their lenses. And that's just not really the case most of the time. I don't know if that's misinformation because we watch people's videos that we like and they have really expensive gear, or if it's just more of an excuse because we're not using what we have to its full potential. But I promise you that the guys that you're watching that are creating really, really good videos, even though they might have expensive gear, they've worked up to that. And, if they had to back off their gear to less expensive cameras and less expensive lenses, they could still maximize what they have to create the best videos that they're capable of. So when it comes to creating better videos, I'm not going to tell you that you need to upgrade your camera or upgrade your lenses and spend thousands of dollars to create something better. I think it really comes down to maximizing the potential of what you currently have now. And I think that these tips are going to be especially good if you are on a shoestring budget like I am, and I know most other videographers are. We're always looking for, what gear can I get that is the most cost effective but still is going to produce really good results. So tip number 1 for creating better video is to get really good at lighting. So I'm convinced that you can create a better looking video with a $200 camera or even your phone than a multi-$1,000 camera if you just learn to light things correctly. So the light that I'm using for this video right now is the Godox SL60 white version. I also have the yellow version. These things are going to run you about $150, so you don't have to go out and spend $1,000 to get really good lighting for your videos. This thing puts out a ton of light. It's 60 watts, and they've got a couple models that kind of step up from there. And then surrounding that, I have a 38-inch softbox from Glow, and it does just a really good job of wrapping that light around your subject while getting very, very close to it. I mean, I'm within an arm's length away from this light, and yet it's not harsh at all. It's very, very soft. It wraps around and gives that nice Rembrandt lighting where you can get that triangle on the dark side of your face. So I just want to show you how important lighting is, because for this $230 setup, I'm able to turn this into this. And that's how important lighting is to creating good videos. And my second tip to creating better videos is to get really good at audio. I think audio is often overlooked for most videographers, but if you have a really good sound in your video, I think that's going to lend a lot of grace to the actual quality of your footage, especially if you're doing interviews or videos like this where someone's talking. Getting good audio is really important. So there's a few different types of microphones that I use depending on what kind of shoot that I'm at. But for this video, I've got a pencil condenser mic that is just out of the frame, and it sounds really, really good. It's a $100 microphone, so you don't have to go out and break the bank in order to get a really good sound for your videos. I also have a large diaphragm condenser mic that I use for if I'm doing voiceovers, or if you want to do a more like podcast style of video, having this in the shot would be really cool. So this is the blue baby bottle, and it's going to run you a little over $300. And it sounds really, really good as well. It's a studio mic, so it's good for recording, vocals for music or voiceovers or anything like that. This is going to get a really good sound for you for just a little bit over $300. And then for other types of shoots, I will use a lavalier mic. I've got this Sennheiser, and it doesn't sound great, and you have to do a lot more work in post, but it's really nice to just be able to throw a lav mic on somebody, especially if you're capturing audio where someone's going to be moving around a lot, and so you don't want to set up your boom pole or anything like that. Just for convenience, it's really nice. But this is going to run you, I couldn't find this one, it's kind of an older version, but a lav mic like this is going to run you more like $400. And so, you're paying for that convenience, and it's a little more work on the back end getting it to sound good, but it's still a really cool mic to have in your bag whenever you need it. So real quick, I'm going to walk you through the process that I go through every time when I edit audio. I'm going to show you the plugins that I use and kind of how I go through this process. Now I know that in every situation, depending on the type of microphone you use, the voice of the subject that you're filming, and the room that you filmed it in, all of these settings might adjust a little bit, but I'm going to show you 3 plugins that I use on every single session of filming that I do. And so I do my editing inside of Adobe Audition. This can be done in any suite that you use, but this is the one that I use for my audio editing. So I have my track here, and this is with nothing on it.
Hey guys, today I'm going to give you my top 4 tips to create better videos.
Okay, so I started with a really good clean audio, which is a great first step. And so I'm going to show you the 3 plugins that I use. So the first one that I do is a noise reduction, the denoise. What this is going to do is just pick up, or rather take away any room noise that you have. That could be the buzzing of air conditioning, that could be the humming just of the room, or any kind of low-end hum that you have in the microphone. It's going to get rid of that without messing with any of the actual audio itself. So I typically pull this back somewhere between 5 and 10% is usually pretty good. You might have to bump that up a bit if you were in a pretty noisy room, but if you get above 10%, you start to kind of mess with the actual vocals a little bit. So I'll set that around 5%, and that usually is good enough to take care of any background noise that I have. The second thing that I add is the 30 band equalizer, and I like to do this to boost my low end. Now I'm going to take everything below 63 here and drop it all the way to 0, because anything less than the 80 marker is typically room noise or just hum that you don't want in it. But the 80 is a really sweet spot for, at least for my voice. It's different for every person that I film, but I know for me the 80 range, 80 and 100 is about where the nice richness in my voice comes from. So I will play around with these and get them set a little bit.
Hey guys, today I'm going to give you my top 4 tips to create better videos. Hey guys, today I'm going to give you my top 4 tips to create better videos.
So once you have the low end the way that you want it, I like to kind of trail it off like this. I also like to come into the 2000 and the 4000 and pull them down just a little bit. Typically with the microphone setup that I have, I find that around 2000 and 4000 there's this kind of high pitch, kind of shrill sound that doesn't help give any crispness to the voice, but instead just causes it to sound kind of shrill. And so I like to pull those 2 numbers down. So I boost it around 80 to 100, and I pull down 2000 and 4000. And then the last thing that I do is I add in what they call the mastering plugin. And what this is going to be for me is I'm going to adjust my gain. I'll bump that up to get to a good level, just a little bit under the peaking level, to where it's just touching into maybe -3 decibels. And then I will use the exciter to crisp up the voice.
Hey guys, today I'm going to give you my top 4 tips to create better. Hey guys, today I'm going to give you my top 4 tips to create better videos. Hey guys, today I'm going to give you my top 4 tips to create better videos. Hey guys, today I'm going to give you my top 4 tips to create better videos.
Great, so once you get those set the way that you like them, I'm going to play it for you one more time and take off the EQ that I added and just let you hear kind of what it sounds like without bringing in that low end.
Hey guys, today I'm going to give you my top 4 tips to create better videos.
So if you don't boost the low end, you just kind of crisp it up and add the volume to it, you sort of kind of get this hollow sound to it. So bringing in that low end to me really helps fill it up and make the voice sound nice and rich.
Hey guys, today I'm going to give you my top 4 tips to create better videos.
And this is the process that I go through on every single video that I shoot. Occasionally I will have a few more plugins that I use, but I at least use these 3 in every single edit that I do. So the third tip to creating better videos is you have to get the skin tones right. There's nothing worse than watching a video and the skin tone has that weird green yellow color to it that just makes you super uncomfortable. So getting the skin tone right is very, very important to making good videos. So one way that you can make sure that the skin tones are correct is to have a white balance card. You can pick one of these up on Amazon for like 10 bucks. This is going to help you set the white balance for your camera. So sometimes you set the white balance, but the skin tones are still off. And so I recommend picking up one of these X-Rite color checkers. You can get this from Amazon for like 65 bucks. I think it's totally worth it. I carry it with me everywhere that I go. So anytime I have a shoot that is really intensive on looking at someone, whether that's an interview or whatever kind of video that is, I like to color correct using a color checker, not just a white card. But if you don't have a color checker, I'm going to show you how to, inside of DaVinci Resolve, get your skin tones correct. So I'm going to show you how to do this in DaVinci Resolve, but you can do this pretty much in any video editing suite that you're using. We're going to create a new node here, and we're just going to come over to the qualifier tool, and we just want to look at the skin tones here. So I'm going to select part of the skin tone, and then I'm going to hit Shift H and show you just what has been selected. Use the feather tool to kind of give us more of the skin tone. You want as much of the skin tone as possible, at least the part of it that is not too dark or too bright that you're going to be able to see the green or kind of yellow tint to it. So I'm going to come in now and adjust some of these parameters and start to get kind of the full scope of the skin tone. So once you're happy with what is selected, we can come over to our waveform and let's change that to the vector scope. Now the vector scope is going to show you this white line right here is going to be the skin tone line. And so where we want this bit of color to be sitting is just on the right side of the line, butted up against it. So you can see here that it's to the left of the line, which means that it's towards the yellow, towards the green, and we need to boost it on the other side. There's a couple ways to do this. We can either come into the primary wheels and pull it kind of towards the blue and magenta, or we can come into the second page of our editing tool down here and take the tint and start pulling that away from green. Either of these are going to kind of send your skin tones in the right direction. Now what I typically like to do is pull it past where you would want it. So if we hit Shift H again and see the whole picture, I'm gonna turn this node on and off. Off, you can see that it's a little green, a little yellow, and on, it's probably a little too pink. But what I like to do is come into the key output, turn the opacity of the node down to 0, and then just start to slide it up until I get the skin tone that I want, which is probably somewhere in the 0.7 range. So 70% intensity on this node gives us a good looking skin tone. You can tell by looking at it, you can look at the vector scope and see where it's sitting. Now it's just on the right side of the line, kind of butted up against it. So that is a pretty quick and easy way to get the skin tones looking correct if you don't have something like a color checker to use when you're filming. And my last tip, which really encompasses all of this, is to just always be learning. So there's a ton of creators on YouTube that are giving away information like this for free. You don't have to go to school and get a degree in film to become a good filmmaker. The information is out there. You just have to be willing to look for it. I watch videos all the time trying to get better at lighting and get better at audio and get better at filmmaking in general. And these are the three channels that I probably watch the most. And that would be Peter McKinnon. It's hard to have a list of favorite filmmakers without having Peter McKinnon on it. I love watching Daniel Schiffer. I think that he gives away a lot of good information for free, and the style that he shoots is a style that I like and one that I kind of want to replicate. And so I look to him a lot. And then Parker Walbeck. Parker has some courses that you can purchase from him, And if that's something that you want to do, I really encourage that. But he also gives away a ton of information for free. So if you just look at those 3 channels and just watch a lot of the videos that they make, you can't help but becoming a better filmmaker. And so, when you're sitting around and you've got Netflix on kind of in the background, just constantly be watching and learning from these guys, because they're willing to give out all of this information for free. So these are the tips that I have for new filmmakers or even experienced filmmakers looking to elevate their videos and take them to the next level. I think that we can all continue to be learning. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, like this video, leave me a comment of what you think are the most important aspects for filmmakers to make really good videos. Thank you guys for watching this, and I will see you next time.